Good evening, everyone. We are, I'm Professor Santosh Sangam, Chairperson of International Collaborations at XLRI, as well as a faculty in the finance area of XLRI. Today, we have with us Sean, who is the Associate Director of the graduate programs at George Washington School of Business, and Regina Nitin, who is the regional head for George Washington School of Business. We are here to talk about XLRI's latest or set of offerings, which are jointly curated and developed with George Washington University, which is the XLRI PGDM BM with International Specialization Track. Now, the international specialization tracks that we have chosen are being offered. Four of these are being offered with George Washington University, and these are sports management, project management, international business, and business analytics. And as we go along, Sean and Regina will take you through these programs. Now, just a quick thing about by now, most of you would have seen the option to select the BM with international specialization track in your admission forms. If you have, so what exactly is this all about? So, the BM with international specialization track is a route to uh, attain double masters, wherein you are doing the curriculum of XLRI's BM program and you are completing the corresponding curriculum of the international specialization track at George Washington University. So, just to give a uh, quick idea about the structure and how this works. So, so here, students, those of you who apply, will have to go through the same admission process as the BM students, right? So there will be no separate admission process for these programs. It's the same cutoff, same process, everything. Now, these students who take up this international specialization track will have to do the entire first year curriculum in the BM program at XLRI, following which they go for their internships and then they cover a few courses in XLRI at the start of the second year before moving on to George Washington University for the fall semester. Now, when you look at the international specialization tracks, the question is why these offerings and why should somebody be interested, right? Now, when you look at these offerings, right, the structure is very different from a traditional MBA in the sense that in a traditional MBA, we focus on functional specializations, whereas these international specialization tracks, they address a growing need of industry for professionals who are grounded in management, concepts, skills, and capabilities, and additionally have more in-depth multidisciplinary skills and capabilities that can translate across specific industries or domains that will drive future growth in global economies. So, with that, I'll hand it. We have identified four specialization tracks with George Washington School of Business. So these are project management, sports management, international business, and business analytics, as I had talked about. So without much ado, let me hand it over to the George Washington team, that's Sean and Regina, to take you through a bit about George Washington University, the School of Business, and the programs. Over to you, Sean and Regina.
Great. Thank you so much, Professor. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Sean Min. I am calling here from Washington, D.C., and today, in fact, it's snowing. It's the first day of snow for us this year. So wanted to just give you a little bit of the kind of the weather what we are getting here in D.C. We do have all four seasons. And so let me go ahead and kick this off. So we are excited to be in a collaboration with XLRI. And today, Regina and I will be speaking to you a little bit about the university and specifically the four programs that Professor has just shared with you with this exciting collaboration. Next slide, please. So today I'm just going to go over a really quick overview and then go into those programs along with some outcome details. Next slide, Regina. Okay. All right. So a little bit about the university. Not sure if many of you have been to DC, but I'm going to try to give you a good enough picture as if you were here. The university was founded in 1821. We're over 200 years old. The university was founded and chartered by the Act of Congress. President Monroe actually signed an Act of Congress, which then created our first college, and that is our Columbian College. Then from then, there we have created 9 other colleges, and we now have 10 today. There are some other here numbers that you might want to be looking at on your screen. One of which I would say is that we are just 4 blocks away from the White House and some of the major institutions such as the IFC, the World Bank, the State Department, and that's just to name a few. And we're also one of 3 campuses. So we do have other campuses in the DMV, which we like to refer to as DC, Maryland, and Virginia in the area as well. But the most, I guess, interesting, kind of fact is one that we just received about a week and a half ago is that we're ranked number 29 by Time Magazine, where we are known for to be one of the best colleges for future leaders. Specifically, it's our School of Business and our law school. Next slide. And now, just to give you a little bit more perspective of what DC is like and how you might be studying and using the DC area, we are really quite fortunate because of our location brings in so much diversity, not only with student body, but also with our organizations that our university does work very closely with. So just to give you some perspective, we have over 2,400 international organizations that employ over 23,000 people in the DC area. When I refer to DC area, that includes Virginia and Maryland. We have 185 foreign embassies and missions, 20 companies in 2024 that were listed in the Fortune 500 that are actually headquartered here in Washington, D.C. 11,000 total that are enrolled across the DMV area, which includes some of our neighboring institutions and universities as well. And then what you also might be interested in, because we do have some students that do have internship opportunities here at the World Bank, the IMF, the UN Information Center, the IFC, the World Resource Institute, known as WRI, and the Department of State. Next slide. And then when you think about GW School of Business, a little bit closer here, I'd like to share some statistics as well. So right inside that circle is Duquesne Hall. That is our business school. And as you can see, we are an open campus. So we are a city school with an open campus. We do have our own subway stop, which makes it really accessible for our students. And I would say a good number of our students tend to live outside of the Washington, D.C. areas. Washington, D.C. So they'll metro from Virginia or Maryland. We are only 1 stop away. And as you can see to the right, there's this body of water on your screen. That is the Potomac River, and that's really what separates DC from Virginia specifically. We are 3,000 students here at the business school, half of them being undergrad and the other half being graduate students. And for the diversity here, we have over 181 international students just within our business school, representing 102 countries, including India. We actually just did a census, and India is number 2 right now in terms of our student body. Equally proud is our representation of women in our graduate program. So we continue to be very strong. We have over 51% women across our graduate programs. We're also number one for our full-time MBA program, representing over 61% women. Next slide. So I want to share a little bit with you about some of our notable notable alumni. We are over 59,000 proud and continues to grow each year with our School of Business alumni. Some notable names that you may or may not be familiar with is retired star Colin Powell, who has a number of positions in the government as well as in the armed forces. We also have Scott Kirby, who graduated from the business school, who is a CEO of United Airlines, followed by Kathy Warden, who is very active in our community. She's also part of our uh, um, corporate advisory board for our business school, and she is CEO and president of Northrop Grumman, which is more of a technology and government contracting organization right here in Virginia. And last but not least, that I'd like to share is former chairman of Samsung is Lee Kun-hee. He is also a member of our alumni network. And some other numbers here I want to share with you because I certainly cannot list all of our alumni. I think also the president of Botswana is of the GWSB as well. But we have 16 foreign heads of state, 28 US senators, 27 US governors, 18 US cabinet members, and 5 Nobel laureates. Also that we can claim to say are GWSB alumni. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about research. We are an institution, we are an R1 institution, but we also like to share with you that we are part of this elite group called Association of American Universities. In 2023, we were invited to be the 71st institution to join this elite group made up of outstanding, pioneering, forward-thinking institutions being recognized for research, education, and innovation. The outstanding faculty that you see on your screen is really just a short list of faculty that have been recognized by their colleagues and their peers, as well as in publications over the past couple of years. Dr. Herman Aginis, the first professor you see on your screen, has just been named the most prolific researcher for the 9th year in a row. So he is one of the most well-known researchers that to date. The other one professor I like to tout is Dr. Sharon Hill, who she has been doing a lot of work from the pandemic for virtual teams and the nature of work, of what's going on really now that most organizations have been needing to pivot and transition since the pandemic, and how we are best serving how organizations are best serving their employees to be able to work remotely. Some other notable faculty right now is Dr. Young-Eun Kwak, who's our professor of decision sciences. We've got marketing, information systems, and we also have a program with a specialty in tourism and hospitality, and that's Dr. Shavat Tosin. But really, this is a short list of folks. We have some outstanding faculty doing work in small businesses, some faculty who are doing work more on the real estate side. So I can't list them all again, but you're certainly welcome to go to our website as there's more timely news and information on our faculty and their research. The other thing I'll note is that students are certainly welcome to do research with professors as well. I had one student in our MBA program who worked for our Department of Homeland Security when she was in a cohort for our MBA program, and really was interested this is at the beginning of the pandemic, and really wanted to delve deeper into the productivity of working in a remote setting. And she partnered with one of our professors, who I happen to be a student of as well, and they had published an article in the Harvard Business Journal. Okay. All right. So you're here listening to us, but really probably want to learn more about the 4 awesome programs that we're partnering with today. And so they are going to be our MS in International Business, our MS in Project Management, MS in Business Analytics, and our MS in sport management, two of which we are proud to share that they are STEM designated programs, and we'll explain a little bit about what that is at the end, and that is MS in project management and analytics. So let's go ahead and talk about these four programs.
Sean, shall I go ahead?
Please go ahead, Regina.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I think let me start by giving you a quick overview of the programs that we've already offered that are in the offering, which are the four programs Sean listed out. I would specifically walk you through why an MSBA, which is business analytics. Business analytics continues to be one of the most in-demand, future-forward fields. It blends data science, business strategy, and decision-making tools to prepare students for high-impact roles. And what it really means is that business analytics is not just about crunching numbers, but it's about transforming data into strategic insights. And so at GW, we also build communications and leadership skills because employers want analysts who can influence decisions. So if you really ask about why should students consider this field, because you can gain highly analytical, data-driven approach to business management, learn industry-leading software tools and forecasting methods, develop a holistic understanding of how data supports business strategy. A good thing to note would be that the average starting salary in DC metro area is about $105,000. This was published by Glassdoor. It also allows students to have strong job security and advancement opportunities and build the ability to bridge data science fundamentals with business acumen. Now, what makes the GW MSBA really unique is the comprehensive and evolving curriculum. You will build a strong theoretical foundation that prepares you for evolving technologies and analytical environments. And really, this program is forever evolving. And with evolving, I do not mean that it is, it gets started uh, from the scrap, but what happens is every time we're looking at whether this is serving the purpose of the industry or not, and tweaking the same in the programs. An interesting part of this is the capstone with real client work. So you'll have a part of as a part of this curriculum, you'll also have a capstone project which will work on real business problems with the guidance of industry leaders. You would see that the corporate advisory board, as Sean mentioned earlier, includes the IBM, Deloitte, SAS. The curriculum is continuously refined and is based on the industry feedback. Interestingly, in the next slide, you'll see the curriculum, which lists out the core and also the electives. While this might not be taught in the same manner, the same order, but you will have the course mappings done accordingly. In the electives, very interesting is the flexibility of specialization. So the electives include sports analytics, social network analysis, visualization, custom analytics. So depending on which pathway you would like to choose, which is whether it is consulting, operations, supply chain, business strategy, or analytics leadership roles, this would be a program for you to really look out for. Moving on to the next program that we offer, which is on project management. Now, interestingly, this is a program we have had for over 25 years now, and it continues to grow due to its relevance across industries. It is discipline independent and suits students from any background, whether engineering, IT, consulting, public sector, and more. And if you look at what the career pathways might look at is, the IT project managers, program managers, management consultants, operations and cross-functional leaderships, all of that. Now, what really makes GW's project management program stand out? It has been accredited by Project Management Institute. We hold a GSE accreditation, the Global Seal of Excellence for Project Management Education. It actually has a built-in PMP preparation. In the first course prepares the students for the PMP exams, and 96% of our students pass this exam. And PMP alone provides an average, 16% salary boost as well. Now, interestingly, there is a lot to learn here because a lot of tool software is being taught. The faculty have developed the softwares actively used in the industry. This also comes with a capstone experience. So integrated project analytics students, the project management students can choose their own project themes. Couple of them, for example, was something that we did in election logistics. We also did a project for the COVID pandemics, etc. And students can tailor their path through electives as well. So, if you are looking at a little more soft skills based electives, you could actually look at conflict management, leadership and team dynamics. But if somebody is really technically inclined, you could also look at time series forecasting and business process modeling. So with this, I'm handing it over to Sean for the next two programs that we offer.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let's talk about international business. We are consistently very well ranked in this space. Recently, by US World News, we were ranked number 12 for our graduate programs in international studies. And I really think our location plays a big part of why this program continues to do so well. If you're thinking about international business, I would have you think about, why how can this degree help you in a number of facets as it relates to global business, intermarket strategy, working on a multilateral front, trade, economics, and this program, I should say, is more economics based. We have traditionally required students to have some micro and macro. We've softened up a little bit, but certainly XLRI students, I'm sure, are going to come in with that knowledge. But we do think that is an important piece for students to come in with as a foundation to this program. This program, I would say, is a little bit more research driven. It's more analytical as well. You can certainly go and focus more on one versus the other, but the core curriculum, which I'll show you in just a minute, is designed to give you that holistic perspective as students navigate the international arena. You're going to go more into theory. However, this program, like the project management, has experiential learning built in. So you will be learning and then applying through a cornerstone project, a la an internship, and then there is a capstone project that's also part of the curriculum at the end that allows you to go abroad, basically, to apply that knowledge in an international setting. Let me see if I kind of went ahead of this slide, but if there, I think I covered everything there. So then let's go into our curriculum. So this curriculum is 33 credits, unlike the other two that you have just seen. Again, you will not necessarily take the courses in this order, but those are the core courses. So the idea here is for you to gain a couple of tools. One is understanding global strategy and leadership. The other one is to be able to be an analytical thinker and be able to make decisions on the global stage. And then we're going to culminate all of this through application and global insights through your experiential learning opportunities. Now, uniquely, this program also offers you to do concentrations if you wanted to through our electives. So I don't know if we're going to have this slide up, but we do have certificates. These are 4 courses that allow students to earn a certificate. So with this program, you not only can earn an MS in international business, but you can also earn a certificate among the 17 that we offer. That could be in management leadership, it could be in business analytics, it could be in global management, artificial intelligence. If this makes sense to you, you do not have to do a concentration. Some students will just go ahead and go into further understanding like trade and policy or international marketing. That's perfectly fine. But this one I do think is a good opportunity if students wanted to do a deep dive that they can. Okay, next slide. All right, let me go on. This is one of my favorite programs because it's really niche. There is no program like this, I think, in the world, mainly because of this, our faculty director, Dr. Lisa Delpi Narati. She has been in the sports industry for over 30 plus years. She is a leader and a trailblazer when it comes to sport management. We are one of the few and the first to have sport management be in the business school. Generally, you'll find business sport management in arts and sciences, a general college, but not at GW. And we really do prepare our students for the business, for and gaining those business tools as they go into an area of sport management. So what is sport management? Well, it's designed to give you a holistic kind of approach to how we look at sports. And as you may or may not know or have familiar with, it is taken off with so many different avenues of sports management. Dr. Delpi Narati is actually on the board of the World Cup and the Olympics. So she is someone that takes students every World Cup, every winter and spring and summer Olympics. And she usually takes about 30 students to really gain a front and center understanding and immersive experience for the students. They are volunteers. I have been told that they've met some of their aspiring Olympians when they go there. They go to the different tents and take and really do have a memorable experience. You may or may not know, but the FIFA World Cup is actually coming to the East Coast next summer, which I'm very excited about. And so she will be taking a group of those students right here in our backyard. But even sooner than that, she'll be taking our students to Cortina, Milan, for the Winter Olympics as well. And she, like I said, just plays a wonderful and integral part of giving our students a firsthand experience before they go into the actual sport management arena. This is a big business, by the way. There's 500 billion industry for sport management. And so where are folks going? What are you looking to do? Well, so students are going into working for big networks. They're working for the NFL here. It's the National Football League, the World Cup arena. We have students also going to sports marketing. Some students also want to go into the agent space, which we do have students, but I will kind of underscore, like, this is not an exclusive program that's going to get you into being an agent, but because I think that's kind of one of the first things that students think about is like, I want to be an agent. But there's so much more that this program can do for our students. We host so many activities for it's not just for sport management students, but for all of our students, but as it relates to sports. Dr. Delpi Narati is the founder and host for 19 years in a row now our SYNC conference, which is called our sports networking conference. It connects students to the broader sports industry. It happens every year, and it's actually led by our students, and she's obviously the faculty director that oversees it. And, again, recently we've just been ranked now top 10. We have a couple other rankings for sport management, but we do think that our program is unique in the sense of just being well positioned for students to be very successful in sport management. Let me jump now to that curriculum piece here. Great. So this is 36 credits. I've now shared with you two programs that are north of 30. And we just can't seem to be chipping away to making this 30 credits because there's so many great classes that we really feel students should be learning before they graduate. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of mix here about, we're talking generalities of sport law, contract negotiation. Again, that talks about more on the agent side of things, but we're also looking at marketing, we're looking at media, and then we're looking at quant, right? We want you to understand how to analyze data and information. So we're looking at quantitative methods. And one thing also to mention is there is a practicum for this. So in the second semester of your first year, you're already able to do an internship. So I know this question may come up, which ones can do an internship? This is one of them. This is built in. And let me tell you, Dr. Narati will find you an internship. She is so well connected that she has placed her students in a variety of great places. Then when you go to the elective space, you see that there are, again, you can do a certificate with this program, but you can also continue to go down the path of sport management. And so we're looking at conflict negotiation, international marketing, AI marketing. This is all just, more timely topics that might relate to those interested in continuing in sports. Okay, should I turn it over back to you, Regina?
Sean, would you
Begin.
continue with this? Sorry.
Oh, sure, I can
coach you.
continue.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about specific outcomes for our students. This is really just a short list of where our students have gone over the past couple of years. Not onesies, twosies. These are really students that we have placed over a number of them over the past couple of years. You can see a mix of both private, public, profit, nonprofit. I will also add for our sport management, we have students who've gone on to something called Monumental Entertainment. That's a big one for us that we place students in the NFL. We've had students go there. So those are just a little bit as you relate to sport management. When you think about like project management, students have gone off more to like more on the contracting side of things. So Northrop Grumman is a really big one for us. We have MITRE. We also have, I'm trying to think here, Lockheed Martin and Leidos. Those are a little closer to the DC area, but those are also ones that we work very closely who happen to be on our corporate advisory for our business analytics program. Okay, all right. Okay, now I'll turn it over to you, Regina, to talk about CPT and OPT.
Thank you. All right. So looking at what CPT and OPT might look like for F1 visa students, which is our students going to the US to study, there are two kind of practicum training that becomes a part of the curriculum. One is the CPT, which is the curricular practical training, and the OPT, which is the optional practical training. CPT is a part of while you are studying, and therefore you will be eligible to do the CPT only after 2 semesters, unless the program requires some type of internship which is built in within. Now, what it really also means is that the 20 hours work week that you might be hearing off the cuff, that people can, students when they are in the US can work, this is not a part of that. So working on the campus does not require a CPT. This is a part of what you learn and then apply that in the internships. So you can participate in the internships or practicums directly related to your field of study while you are enrolled in the school. And this could be both paid and unpaid. So in fact, at GW, you start looking at and working towards your internship from the very week that you land. So you work with the Career Center, helping you through getting the resumes done, the standard formats, preparing you to meet the future employers. And why the CPT becomes important is because the CPT becomes a platform for you to convert the internship into a full-time job. So that's the reason why this is so important. And therefore, we recommend that students do the CPT. Coming to the OPT, the optional practical training, this means that you have now completed your program at GW and are looking to whether you are going to stay back in the US or you want to come back to India. The programs, if you remember from the earlier slide, there were two programs which were the STEM designate programs and the two others which were non-STEM designate programs. For the STEM designate programs, you are allowed to stay back in the US and work under the same visa, which is your F1 visa, for 12 plus 24 months, which is a 36 months, 3 years. And for the non-STEM programs, it would be 12 months post your graduation. One can apply up to 90 days of graduation, and but before before the graduation, but no later than 60 days after the program gets over. However, because you've already done your internship in between, which is your CPT, it generally works out well to convert that into into the job or the OPT experience that you would get. You would be eligible after one full academic year. And looking at our curriculum, which had 30 credits in two programs and 33 and 36 credits, it makes sense that it would be only post one full academic year that you would be there. So I don't think that should be a worry at all. And to apply to an OPT, you really do not need a job offer before applying. It's a process and it needs to be really done so that your visa still remains intact, and everything is taken care of at in terms of the Department of the Homeland Security. I
So
think that is
if I
all.
may,
I
oh, can I
No,
add
sure,
one
sure.
more thing? I'm sorry, Regina. So going back to that, let me just clarify. So with our sport management program, that CPT, you are able to do it actually in your second semester. So it's one of these programs that does have an exception because it has already been approved as a built-in internship. Really hot off the press, though, I also would like to share is that we have been named one out of the 6 universities where the World Bank has endorsed and partnered with us in offering internships for our students. So this would be part of the CPT. This will happen, I believe, starting next fall. So we're really excited because being one of those 6 is not easy. We'd like to say our location helped, but still, we did have to go through that rigorous process. So if you're looking really to be having that immersive internship experience, we do have some great opportunities right in our back door.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Sean. I think those were very important 2 pointers that you brought in, an
Yeah.
enriching one. Yeah. On the slide, you have life at GW and GWSB overview. So you could actually just scan the QR, go ahead and look at those videos. And I will now pass on to Professor Santosh. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Sean and Regina. That was an that was a very detailed overview of the programs and about GW. Now, uh, those of you who are, you know, uh, who are thinking seriously about this as an alternative, I would suggest that you can go to the ZAT application form and select the option for the international specialization track. Now, just to quickly tell you, right, you do not have to choose the international specialization track as of now, right? Or you don't have to choose a specific program track as of now. Only those students who get through the selection process, who are issued the offer, right? After you receive the offer, you will have the time to communicate which specialization track you are choosing. So if you're not very sure about which specialization track as of now, you have a few months to make up your mind, right? So with that, we'll take any questions if there are any. So in case you have any questions, I suggest that you leave them in the comment section of the YouTube video and we'll get back to you. Okay. So thank you everyone. And I thank Sean and Regina and the team at XLRI for coordinating this event. Right. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you so much.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Prabhakar.